So pre-calculus 20, this is section 6.3, and this is number 6E. So again, we are adding and subtracting rational expressions, rational terms. So the thing we have to do is the same thing that we have to do if we're adding or subtracting fractions. We have to get a common denominator. Now, how do we know what we have in the denominators? We need to extract or see what the factors are. So as a good idea, do you have to factor the tops right away? Maybe not always, but you should factor the denominators for sure. So this one, and this one's already factored, but let's factor these. This is a difference of squares. You should recognize that. So that's h plus 3 times h minus 3. Over here, we have, looks like a perfect square trinomial. So that's h plus 3 times h plus 3. And over here is h minus 3 is already factored, so you can't do much with that. Now, if we're looking at common factors or common denominators here, each one has to have everything that the other one has, including the number of factors. So this one has 2 h plus 3 factors, so we're going to have to multiply this by h plus 3 here, top and bottom. This one doesn't have an h minus 3, so we're going to have to do h minus 3 here, top and bottom. And then over here as well, this one doesn't have the two h plus 3s, so we'll do that. Okay, so that each term has the all of the same factors, every term. So then we can simply combine the tops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just write this. Wow, that's not a straight line at all. I'm going to write this with one common denominator now. That's hardly better. But we've got h plus 3 squared, really, times h minus 3. Okay? So what we can do is we can combine the tops. So we should multiply this out. I'll show you every step. So that's going to be 2h squared plus 6h when we multiply this out. Okay? 2h squared plus 6h. This is going to be a plus here, right? Plus. And we have h squared minus 3h. Okay? And then we have a subtract, so I always throw the bracket up there when you subtract. This is only, well, actually I didn't finish that. So when we subtract, you're going to have to subtract every single term, right? So this is going to be, now you might want to do this in 2 steps, I'm not sure. You might even want to do this just on the side of your paper. So let me actually just do this on the side so you can show you the steps. I'll do it in red. So 3 times h plus 3 times h plus 3, just multiply the first two together first. So it's going to be 3h plus 9, and then multiply that product times this one then. So times h plus 3. And so then you have, do another FOIL method, 3h squared plus 9h plus 9h plus 27. Okay? And please shout me down if I'm doing anything wrong here, if I'm missing any little thing here. Do this along with me, especially those of you that got this correct. If you worked through this, got this correct, let me know if you did something different even, because even if it's not incorrect, it would be nice to know if you did something different, so I can confirm with you whether that's okay or not, and that we can also help each other, right, with maybe just slightly different ways of looking at it. So feel free to just put up your hand if I'm showing you something that you don't have. So where were we? I need to subtract all this. So that's subtracting 3h squared. I can combine those two terms. That's 18h and then 27. So I'm just going to leave that negative sign there because I need to subtract all of those terms, right? So let's do that then. 2h squared plus h squared, that's 3h squared minus 3h squared. See that? So plus 3h squared minus 3h squared. So the h squareds are gone. That's great. We don't have to deal with them. 6h minus 3h is positive 3h minus 18h. Positive 3 minus 18 looks like a negative 15h. Does that look okay? And then we don't have any constants over here, but we have a minus positive 27, so negative 27. And then this is our factors on the bottom. All right, so I can factor the top there. I can factor that top. There's definitely a common factor there. What can I factor out of there? A 3, I guess? Right? I can take a negative 3 because there's a negative on both terms. So if I took a negative 3 out, that's going to be 5h minus 9, maybe. Okay, this is not looking really nice and neat and handy and clean, but can anyone confirm whether that is the correct answer for that question? Anybody get anything like that? Because there's no common factor, maybe they didn't factor this on the top. Yes or no? Do you have your hand up?
No.
Oh. That appears to be correct?
Yeah, except they have it as +9.
Oh, yes. Thank you. +9 is correct.
And then
Yeah.
they just wrote out the h + 3 twice.
And they wrote the h + 3 twice instead of putting the squared there? Yeah, well, that's just silly. Sorry. It's a silly textbook. Yeah, you can do that as well. That's not incorrect. All right. All right, so we did miss a little bit of sign there. Got a little hasty. But that's sort of what it should look like. And yeah, if you left it like this, you should factor that. You should notice that there's a greatest common factor there. Because when you factor that, there may be something that you can divide out, right? Not in this case, but there may be something that you don't see that you can simplify further. All right. So that's the answer for 5E. Okay. Another question that was asked about was 10C. So in question number 10, this looks really crazy, right? This looks really hard and difficult and weird. This is what you do. Again, I'm not going to go all the way through this question because I want you guys to do it. But what you do is you focus on the numerator alone and the denominator alone first. That's the first step. So what you want to do is you want to get common denominators and combine into one single term for the top and for the bottom. Okay? So it's kind of like what we did in 6.2, 3, maybe just this one. Adding and subtracting separately. And then, then the dividing was 6.2, I think. So then you divide. So once you get a, and let's just say, you have something here, this divided by this plus this, and then you have a big division, and you have something else here, right? So you flip and multiply this bottom one, okay? You flip it and multiply by the reciprocal. So then this is, this is your top one times, right? This over this one. So you flip it and you multiply, and then you go through that procedure. So it's kind of like two separate parts. So you subtract the two terms on the top first, get one single term. It's going to be rational, that's fine. Add the two terms at the bottom, you're going to get one single term. It's going to be rational, that's okay. And then you're going to have a rational divided by a rational. So you need to flip and multiply. Flip the bottom one and multiply the two together. Okay? All right? So I'll let you kind of do that. And then the other one was one from 15, you said? Is there any particular one from 15 that you were having trouble with? A? Okay. So yeah, this looks pretty scary as well, right? But it's not that bad. It's not like you have nightmares about this stuff or anything, right? They may have math nightmares. Is that a reality for anyone? It's sad if it is. I have math dreams, not nightmares. They're so fun. I'm doing math in my dreams. Okay. All right. I realize that's weird. Okay. So this is 15A. So order of operations. You remember order of operations? BEDMAS. Been a while, hey? BEDMAS. So brackets, exponents, then division, multiplication, then addition, subtraction. So do this one first, and then this second. Yes, that is absolutely correct. So factor, top and bottom, divide out any common factors. Yes? Make a sense? Does that make sense? Do you like it when I talk like this? Does that lighten the mood a little bit? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, Sid the slot. Migration instinct? Any of this ringing a bell? Ice Age? Yes? No? Okay, you get the reference, it's just not that funny. Okay. So, yeah, multiplication first, then addition. I'll let you work through that one as well, okay? All right. All right, so the solution, here's the solution document for 10C. It looks something like this, okay? So the answer should be 3m over m plus 3 with these restrictions, okay? So again, do the numerator and the denominator. That would be kind of like brackets first, okay? So it would be like this expression divided by this expression stuff, okay? So that's why we do the numerator first, then denominator. So get your like terms, flip and multiply, divide common terms. That's what you should end up with, okay? That's what you should end up right there. Okay, for this question, 10C. 15A, so 15A, let's look up 15A real quick. Whoa, is that 15? 15A, right here. Get rid of that. So that's your answer for 15A. Okay, yeah, it's a bit of a monster there. But yeah, you do want to simplify this part first. Well, simplify this part first. Okay, that's the multiplication part as far as your bed mass goes, and then simplify. So there's your answer there, with your restrictions. Okay, so if you want to just copy down that answer, just so you can work and get the same as that, that's great.